Hello everyone, this is Dr. Live with New Insight, and thank you for joining me in another video. The title of today's video is Attachment Styles in Relationships. Attachment styles determine how we show up in our interpersonal relationships, how we bond. It determines our level of communication, affection, intimacy, our love languages, decision making, conflict resolution, self-esteem, how we view our partners, and our view of love and connection. So in this video, I will be discussing 4 main attachment styles. Let's get right into the discussion. Number 1, secure attachment. When you have a secure attachment style, you appreciate your own self-worth, and you're able to be independent and self-sufficient even in an intimate relationship. You're comfortable expressing your thoughts and feelings, hopes, needs, and expectations. You find satisfaction in being with others, and you openly seek support and comfort from your partner. However, you don't get overly anxious when the two of you are apart. Number 2, anxious attachment. When you have anxious attachment, you want to be in a relationship and crave feelings of closeness and intimacy with a significant other. However, you struggle to feel that you can trust or fully rely on your partner. Being in an intimate relationship tends to take over your life, and you become overly fixated on the other person. You may find it difficult to observe boundaries. You may view space between you and your partner as a threat, and this can provoke panic, anger, or fear that your partner no longer wants you. When you have anxious attachment, a lot of sense of your self-worth or value rests on how you feel you're being treated in the relationship, and you tend to overreact to any perceived threats to the relationship. You feel anxious or jealous when away from your partner, and you may use guilt, controlling behaviors, or other manipulative tactics to keep your partner close, and you may not be aware of this. You tend to need constant reassurance and validation and lots of attention from your partner, and your partner may view you as clingy, needy, and overdependent. Number 3, dismissive-avoidant. When you have a dismissive-avoidant attachment style, you're a very independent person, and you're content to care for yourself, and you don't feel you need others. The more someone tries to get close to you or the needier a partner becomes, the more you tend to withdraw. You're uncomfortable with your emotions, and partners often accuse you of being distant or closed off, rigid, and intolerant. In return, you accuse them of being too needy or clingy. When you're a dismissive-avoidant attachment style, you're prone to minimize or disregard your partner's feelings. You keep secrets from them, engage in affairs, and even in relationships in order to regain your sense of freedom. You may prefer fleeting, casual relationships to long-term, intimate ones, or you seek out partners who are equally independent, ones who will keep their distance emotionally. Number 4, fearful-avoidant. When you have a fearful-avoidant attachment style, you probably find intimate relationships confusing and unsettling, often swinging between emotional extremes of love and hate for a partner. You may be insensitive towards your partner, selfish, controlling, and untrusting, which can lead to explosive or even abusive behavior. And you can be just as hard on yourself as you are on others. When you have a fearful-avoidant attachment style, you may exhibit antisocial or negative behavior patterns, abuse, alcohol, or drugs, or you may be prone to aggression or violence. Others may despair at your refusal to take responsibility for your actions. And while you crave the security and safety of a meaningful, intimate relationship, you also feel unworthy of love and are terrified of getting hurt again. Now I will discuss some general knowledge tips and Q&A about attachment styles. The attachment styles are not permanent. They can definitely change depending on a number of factors such as individual experiences, trauma, and relationship dynamics. For example, a person can enter into a relationship with a secure attachment style and then later develop an anxious attachment style. And this could be as a result of being subjected to toxic or abusive behaviors such as lies, cheating, partner betrayal, abuse, or abandonment. Or something could affect the person's health, finances, or physical appearance, and then the person develops some insecurities leading to a more anxious attachment style. Or the person could meet someone with a more avoidant attachment style and may not be receiving adequate communication, attention, or affection, causing them to feel more anxious. So if attachment styles can change, does this include dismissive and fearful avoidant? The answer to this is yes. A dismissive or fearful avoidant attachment styles can become more secure or anxiously attached. Again, individual experiences and relationship dynamics, trauma, all of these factors can contribute. Also, therapy, learning new skills, forming healthier communication and relationship habits, all affect the attachment styles. Can two people with different attachment styles have a healthy relationship? The answer to this is yes, they absolutely can. However, to establish and maintain a healthy relationship, it is imperative to have the two C's, communication and compromise. And both partners need to discuss their needs and expectations as it relates to love and connection, as it relates to love languages such as quality time or physical touch, and both partners must be willing to compromise. The compromise should always be reasonable, fair, and mutually beneficial. If not, the relationship will become imbalanced. One partner will feel like they're giving too much, while the other partner will feel like they're not giving enough. Both people may feel like their needs aren't being met and that the relationship is dissatisfying. For example, one partner may desire more quality time than the other, likes more planning, organizing, and structure than the other. And he or she becomes anxious or stressed when their partner does not communicate, plan, organize, or when the partner requires more space over quality time. So one might feel like he or she is not getting enough attention or affection, and the other feels stifled, suffocated, or controlled. This is why it is so imperative to be open and transparent about one's thoughts and feelings, including your needs, expectations, and boundaries, what you're willing to negotiate or compromise on, and what you're not willing to negotiate and compromise on. Now let's discuss what the therapy or self-development task will look like for an anxious and avoidant attachment styles. So the therapy or self-development task for an anxious attachment person will look like having to learn to trust others, learning to trust themselves, gaining independence and autonomy outside of the relationship, and being able to develop healthy self-esteem. They must also work on any insecurities or trauma they may have, learn to validate from within and not rely so much on external validation. They may learn to reframe negative thoughts about their partner wanting space. They need to learn to relinquish control or the need to control, learn acceptance, and again, be willing to learn to challenge and change negative, faulty thinking patterns. This therapy task or self-development task for a dismissive-avoidant attachment style may be learning to trust others, let their guard down, learning to communicate effectively, learning to be more vulnerable and open, empathetic, learning to validate, learning to be more attentive to their partner's needs. It may also be needing to learn how to challenge and change negative, rigid, or faulty thinking. Takeaways for relationships. If you find that you and the person are fundamentally different with key morals, values, and perspectives on love, family, politics, religion, whether or not to have children, child rearing, discipline, and overall approach to life, it can be easy to put these things off and just enjoy the moment. But trust me, it's best to get these things out in the open, put it all out on the table, and discuss it. And don't worry about being too serious or running someone away, because first of all, this topic is serious. It's your life. It's your time. And you only get one life to live. Secondly, if the person is going to be annoyed, dismissive, invalidating, unwilling to compromise, you need to know this sooner rather than later, so you'll save yourself a lot of headache and potential heartache. And like I always say, timing and approach does matter. You want to be tactful and respectful and have this type of conversation in private. But please don't put it off because you like the person and you just want to keep them around and you're scared that you'll come across a certain way. If the person feels a certain way, clarify and correct what you need to if there's any misunderstanding, but do express your thoughts, feelings, and concerns. Do have the conversation. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more videos.